Our family's wrapping up a tour of South Africa with a few days deep in the bush of Kruger National Park. Since our very fruitful game drives around Phinda already checked off all of Africa's big five, including the lion, elephant, buffalo, rhino, and leopard, we're focusing this safari on spotting a few other exciting animals, including one of the rarest on Earth. Let's get to it.
We're the Lockwoods, and we're traveling the world to experience up close and in person all the natural wonders and distinct cultures that our kids would otherwise see only in textbooks and TV. Good morning from Ngala. We're at a totally new reserve, and we're going on a whole new safari here, a couple of them, but we're starting the day off at 5:15 a.m. They come and give you a wake-up call at about 5 a.m. and then we just hurried up and got dressed. We set out our clothes ahead of time and headed out the door. We're gonna have some tea and coffee with our ranger and then hit the road. It's a gorgeous morning. What'd you see? It's a little baby impala. There's so much wildlife here on the property. We saw warthogs, elephants here. Sometimes the elephants come and drink out of the watering hole. Hyenas. So you have to walk with a guard when it's dark, but it gets light enough here in the morning, and that's why we're leaving so early, as soon as the light comes out and it's still cool. So the animals are more likely to be waking up and getting active. I'm gonna get active with some coffee. Just a splash of cream and a splash of sugar, and I get my wake me up. Kids are waiting for their hot chocolate. We're all fueled up, and now we're with Amy, our ranger. Hi. Amy is our ranger. She's our guide, like from the moment we land until the moment we fly out. And we also have a tracker, and that's Mishak. Mishak has a really special seat in this Jeep, this luxury Jeep. I'll tell you about in a second. But he sits up in front, and since he's native to this land, he's grown up around the animals, he knows them so well, he sits here and he's the lookout for the animals, for tracks, any signs of bird calls, any signs of wildlife. Now, this Jeep is awesome. It's like a luxury safari Jeep, I feel. First of all, we have these lovely blankets. Not that we're gonna need them much. It is so hot here. It was pretty warm in Phinda, but it is hot in Ngala. There isn't as much wind, and it's a bit flatter, so you just get all the heat all day long. And these seats, we get captain's chairs. This is different than the Jeep we had at Phinda. And this little center console is awesome to keep stuff like your Oregon duck hat. We've got 7 seats back here. Amy's the driver, Mishak sits up front, and Colt sits in the bucket seat right next to Amy. The kids actually fight over who's gonna sit in front, so they're taking turns. One drive in the front, and then one drive back here with the riffraff, Phil and I. Phil and me. But they love it up there because they get to ask Amy anything, have all the conversations about the animals. Before we head off, I'm gonna let you know you're not gonna see too much of Phil today. I'm so sorry you're stuck with me. He's a little under the weather, but he's such a trooper. He's still gonna be the cameraman.
I'll just chime in whenever Aaron pronounces something incorrectly.
Sounds about right.
On this trip, I was lucky enough to have a camp staff that bent over backwards to help with my medication needs. From connecting me with a local doctor via WhatsApp, to sending a courier on a 4-hour trek to acquire my antibiotics. But the key word here is lucky.
Whether you frequently travel to remote areas like us, you live off-grid full-time, or you just want to be prepared for a worst-case scenario, you already know how much of a risk and a hassle it can be to need essential medications but be unable to get your hands on it.
This isn't the first time this has happened to us, and we don't want to find ourselves in this scenario again. So after returning home, we looked into a really cool offering from a company called Jase Medical, and found that they have 2 products that are perfect for these situations.
The first is the Jase case, a compact bag that contains as many emergency medications as you could ever need to treat everything from infections to allergic reactions to traveler's diarrhea or anything else based on your customizations. You keep your Jase case with you, and whenever the worst happens, you get online guidance from a Jase medical physician so that you can self-medicate safely.
And their Jase Daily service provides a 12-month backup supply of your current daily medications, so that you never run out, even when you can't get your regular refills for an extended period.
Our Jase case will now be traveling everywhere with us and adding another way to keep our family safe when options are limited.
You can use the link in the description or just go to followabc.com/Jase to learn more. Use code ALWAYS10 to get $10 off your first order.
Let's get this safari going! Woo! Hello, sun. Hello, wildlife. We've barely been out for 2 seconds, and there's an eagle eating something in the middle of the road. 2 eagles, there's one in the tree up there. The eagle flew away, but left some of its catch, so we're gonna take a look and see what it was.
The feathers have the blue glare that I saw on one bird last night.
Let's see when we go forward. Oh, what'd you get? A feather?
Yes.
Now you have a lucky feather and a lucky gecko.
We have a plan on what we want to do. Of course, if we come across anything unexpected, we're gonna stop and check it out. But our plan is to look for wild dogs. They're actually endangered, so it's not too common to see them, but they have some on the property and we're gonna go chase them down.
I'm gonna go back and let Mishak hop in.
Elephants crossing the road. So we had to back up a little bit. Mishak has to get in the van because they want the vehicle to be as recognizable to the animals as possible. It might be alarming to them to see a human up in front. It wouldn't look as familiar. So we want them to be in their natural state as much as possible and undisturbed and unstressed.
We're all good. Do you see that raised head with the ears out though? I'll give him space just because we never want them to come too close to the vehicles.
We back up, he backs up. Well, I wonder what he wanted. He is.
A lot of the times they just want to remind us that they're big and intimidating.
That was amazing how he came walking towards us. And then he shook his head, and that's their first warning sign that they want to intimidate us, and so we had to back up.
There's one, and I've never seen it.
There's some waterbuck over there. If you didn't catch our last 2 episodes in Phinda, let me tell you about this book. We actually got this when we arrived in Cape Town for this whole adventure we're on. And it has lots of information about the parks, but this book is my favorite. I take this on every safari with me because it's a checkbook of the animals you see, and I love a good list and checking things off. So I'm checking off the waterbuck. There are some things that we can get out of the Jeep for when it's safe, but these dung beetles are the coolest insects. I'm not really a bug person, but I love the dung beetles. They take the poop, they roll it up into perfect balls, and they just like roll it around.
They actually use the sun and the stars to navigate. And they found that out by putting tiny hats on them so that they couldn't look up anymore, and then they got lost. So if they build a ball, often when they're rolling it, you'll see they'll keep stopping, and on the top they'll turn a tiny circle and look up. So they're checking, where am I right now?
Right. We're crossing the Timbervarti River, and it's dried up, and it only flows maybe a few times. Amy, how many times have you seen it flow? 3 times in about 2.5 years. So there'd have to be a really big rain for there to be an actual river here. But it's great because it makes it easy to see any animal tracks. If they cross it, it's really easy to spot them in the sand. There are a lot of bugs here. Mishak has to get in the vehicle because Amy heard on her radio that there are some lions up here. We haven't encountered any wild dogs, and that's okay. We're gonna have plenty of chances, and there's still more of this drive to go. But if we hear about lions, we've gotta see the lions. And we actually get to go off-road, which we don't do often. There are only specific animals and specific activity that you can go off the road for. We came up upon sleeping lions. So there's one male, and he's a young male. You can tell he's young because his mane hasn't gotten darker yet, but you can definitely see it. And 2 females. So this young male He left the pride because of the dangers with the other males in the pride. There were new males that were coming into it that he thought, I gotta get out of here before it's dangerous for me because of the male dominance. They'll either kill them or kick them out of the pride. This smells amazing. But the two females stayed with him because he was still a little young to go off on his own. And the one sleeping close to him is his sister, and the one over there is his cousin. And his sister's getting at an age where she needs to mate, so she'll actually go back and forth between the pride and coming back to her brother. But I think that's...
And then she comes back pregnant. We should... River far away enough? Dread out river?
How about have a maca chocorula or a hot chocolate with amarula, and then we'll let Colt into the river.
We're gonna have a little break. So mid-morning, it's time for a maca chocorula. Kids are looking around, looking at the poop and learning from Mishak. And we're setting up under this Anna tree, which is really kind of rare to find. This is the only one they have in this area. And it blooms at the opposite times of the other trees because it's like those trees are getting their nutrients, I'm gonna rest, and then when they're done, it's like I'm gonna get all the nutrients now because nobody else is using them. My new very favorite morning drink is mocha, coffee, choca, chocolate, rula, the liqueur. It is the most delicious combination. I'm gonna have to bring this recipe back home and make it at home to remind me of being out here in Africa and on safaris, and because it's a delicious, cozy drink. We're out here in an open space so we can make sure that we don't encounter any predators or even any herbivores that come across us. We want to be as far away from the wildlife as we can, but Kruger National Park, where we are, is absolutely ginormous. It's larger than the state of Wisconsin. And we're actually in a hyper-local area called Ngala. And there are no fences between each of the territories, so the animals will migrate, they'll roam, they'll come in one area, out the other, move around quite a bit. There's nothing you can do to control where they go, which makes it harder to find. But at the same time, it is so rich with wildlife here. You're guaranteed to see a lot of animals. We're gonna pack up, get back in the Jeep. We're gonna make our way back toward the lodge because none of us have had a real breakfast yet. Just some yummy snacks and mocha chocorula. But of course, we're gonna see what animals we can bump into on the way there.
Is everyone ready?
Sorry, but when you're over 21, you can come to it.
We are stalking our prey. We're actually on the hunt for white lions. That is the rarest thing to find here in the park because there are only 4 white lions in the world and 3 of them are here on this property. And one of them, at least one of them, is a cub. So there's a mama white lion and then she just gave birth 2.5 months ago, and at least one of them is a white lion cub. So we're looking around for the den to see if they might appear for us. Or actually, Amy says I got that a little bit wrong. This white cub's mom is of a normal color, but that is even more exciting because it means that that lioness is carrying the recessive gene. And so both parents have to have that recessive gene, and there's no way to know unless a white lion cub is born, and it is just so rare. This is the first time I've ever heard that white lions exist. So we gotta find them. We could have found their tracks right there in the sand, and Mishak says, yes, it is them. Mishak thinks it's about a day old, so they should be close by because the cubs don't move too much since they're so young. So they are somewhere close. So we have to look around. We're looking really carefully. We all have these binoculars, which they gave us when we got to the safari. We keep them in the Jeep in between drives. She's probably hiding them somewhere, and she's very protective of them too, naturally. So we're just looking for any movement, any of that lioness color against the green lush bushes and weeds over there. But they've got to be close. We're so close to them.
See, that bird just flew into the tree. Something's Something's made them feel uncomfortable on the ground. They're not feeling very happy. So we're just gonna go forward slowly and see if we can see if maybe she's around there. Maybe she's what scared them into the tree. But that flying into the tree is your definite sign that something's there and something's bothering them. I don't see anything.
We have been searching and searching and searching. Colt saw something, some movement, and he said it looked furry, but we can't seem to spot them. They're definitely in there, but we're so hungry. We've been up for a while. These drives last for 3 to 4 hours typically, and we're getting pretty close to our 4th hour. So we're gonna probably head back and get breakfast. And it's fine to not find everything you want to see on your first or even second drive. We're gonna have plenty of more chances, and we're gonna see a lot more animals.
Baboon!
We just passed baboons. They just ran away. They might be too deep in there for the camera. I really wanted to see one, so even though they moved pretty quickly, I am checking that off.
For all I know.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We had some wins and some losses, but we're gonna keep searching later today. We're gonna show you the lodge, show you our room. We're gonna show you what it's like here at Ngala Safari Lodge. We are the last ones to get into the lodge. We were just too busy exploring. So breakfast is ready for us to sit down, and I wanna introduce you to Silence. So he's our butler while we're here, and he's been taking care of everything. So every meal we have, every activity while we're at the lodge, he's taking care of us. We got the rancher's omelet. We were told that order the rancher's omelet even if it's not on the menu. And I didn't even see it on the menu, but they knew immediately what I was talking about. And it looks like it's got bacon, mushrooms, some tomato, and cheese, and some greens on top. The bacon is so good. We're gonna eat up here. Sent the kids off into the kitchen with Silence to do a little work for us. But we're gonna leave the dining room. This is the main dining room eating area where we have our breakfast and sometimes dinner, because there's also an al fresco area, patio, that you can have dinner by tea light. It's really beautiful. And I honestly don't know where we're gonna be having dinner tonight. They like to mix it up and maybe sometimes take them off property for dinner, so we'll see what happens tonight. And it's also right in front of a watering hole. So there are a few different sides of this watering hole where you can be, and one of them's the pool. We'll show you later. Elephants will sometimes come and drink out of that watering hole right there, right in front of you. I really want to see that. I never thought of myself as a bird person, never had any interest, but being here, I'm mesmerized by these birds. The big ones, the little ones, they are so, so beautiful. And if you see those little sacks, those little ornament looking things hanging down from the tree, those are their nests. And there are actually some frog nests that are similar to that, but the ones that have the grass around them are the birds' nests. They're so pretty. It almost reminds me of Christmas time, like Christmas ornaments. Oh, and there's one right above your head. The sun's coming out. Put my shades on, no doubt. So these beautiful walking paths are fun to go jogging in the morning, but there's no time because you got to start your safari so early. But it's not a very big property. There are only 20 lodges. There's also a tree house and a safari suite. They can only host around 50, maybe a little bit more guests at a time. So this is just one of our 2 cottages that we have connected with each other. And you have to unlock it 2 different ways because those cheeky monkeys have learned how to unlock this one up here. So they had to add this one, extra security, just for the monkeys. You've got to lock it when you're inside too. Because of how the door locks work, we're only using one door to get in and out. So we're gonna zip right through the kids' room because they're identical anyway. And we're gonna show you our beautiful lodge suite. And this is our only wardrobe. There aren't, not too much when it comes to shelving, but there is a drawer down below. And I love this big desk, especially with the mirror here. That'd be great if you wanted to do your makeup there, but we're using it more for workstation. It also is a mini bar. So they've got the glasses and the little bit of wine up here. Ice when you need it. But the cold stuff is down here. So you've got some refreshments, some mixers if you want to make a cocktail, beer, wine, and it's all included, of course. There's also, and I really like this, we forgot to do it last night, so we're gonna do it tonight. There's a little sherry by the bedside. I feel like it sounds so sophisticated, or like you should be snobby when you drink sherry before bed. Look how cute this display is. We have our 2 little sherry cups. Should I try some now? Here you go. The alcohol is gonna help kill the germs in Phil's throat. Cheers, my first sherry drink. I like it. I didn't think I would because I'm not like a whiskey or brandy fan. That's what I expected with the color of it. But it's sweet. It tastes like a port. I dig it. I'm a sherry drinker now. We get a huge king-size bed. I feel like it's bigger than a king, actually. We get a gorgeous view out here into the wilderness. We might see some hyenas at night. And on the other side of the bed is the morning stations. So you've got the evening station with the sherry and the morning station over here with your tea and coffee, a fresh lemon each day. And I bet you it's for tea. You also have some biscotti and some sugar if you want that, but that's only if you need coffee at an odd hour, I would say, because they provide you with the coffee and the tea almost all day, 24/7 up there. And then this is interesting. This is what I think is distinctly different about this lodge, is the powder room, because it has a sink and the toilet, its own little room, is on the opposite side from the rest of the bathroom. The bathroom is the best room in the lodge, hands down. And probably echoey in here too. We have an indoor tub, an indoor shower, an outdoor shower that is like stepping stones away. And I bet you we're gonna see some monkeys from here. And I love the light that comes in, and it's beautiful on the 2 sinks that you have, and the whole place lights up. No shades required. But this is not all there is to see here. I think I hear a knock at the door. Who's back with cookies? Oh wow. So this is what you were busy doing in the kitchen?
Mine are the Dexter colors.
The best part about this lodge is the pool, because elephants will come and they want to drink out of that watering hole right in front, but sometimes they'll come and drink out of the pool water. It usually happens on really hot days, and today didn't turn out to be quite as hot as we expected. So we didn't see them here at the resort, but they often do come. So if you come here, you're gonna have a chance of seeing the elephants right in front of you. And you'll be able to see them over there by the tea garden, and that's where we need to be right now. Finishing up our tea, and we're gonna go meet with Amy and do our second drive of the day.
Good afternoon, station.
We're driving down a new road to start off, and to our left over there is total wilderness. 67,000 hectares, I'm gonna have to Google what that is in acres, of just wilderness. There are no roads, no cars. So some of the animals that cross over right around here may have never seen a car before, so they might be a little on edge. What do we see? 2 elephants. Oh yes, got an elephant bum. We thought for a moment that they were fighting, but it looks like they're 2 young bulls probably playing with each other, and then they wanted to play with us. But they got a little too close for Amy's comfort, and she moved us away. We feel so safe with our ranger and our tracker. They know the animals so well, so they're keeping us a safe distance, but yet we get so close to these animals. It never gets old to bump into these elephants.
So low wobbly on it.
Baby. That little calf is probably a few months old. Walking with its mama, so beautiful. That's the youngest we've seen for sure. We're getting close to where we were looking for that white lion cub. We're gonna see if we can find him this time, because after we left, about an hour later, another ranger and tracker went to go check it out, and they saw that there were paw prints over our tire tracks. So we know that they were right there. We know that we were so close to seeing them. Now we just actually have to spot them.
See them. They're out. They're straight ahead of us, and they're out. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna keep our volume down when we get close.
An albino lion. There's only 4 of these on Earth, in the wild.
don't think the mom knows the hyena's there, but if the hyena finds out that the cubs are here, it will come kill them.
There's a hyena here, and if the hyena knows that the cubs are here, it will kill it. And the mom is sitting right over there and does not see the hyena. And we have to stay very quiet. Luckily, the hyena is walking past and doesn't know the cubs are here yet. And it might just go away.
I'm approaching Phinda Drive on the
Oh, coming back.
The hyena came back, and we were trying to leave, and we were about to pass the mom, and the hyena came back.
Is it always them now? Just want to get between this female and it's moving on.
That was so intense. My heart was in my throat. I would have been devastated if that hyena got to those cubs. But they're gonna be safe now because the mom knew enough to go closer to her cubs. So even if the hyena is close by, the mom is closer, bigger, stronger, more aggressive. That hyena doesn't stand a chance against that mama. So the cubs are in good hands. They're gonna be just fine. And we had to leave because another car had come, and too many cars in this situation could bring more stress and distract them, and we don't want to do anything to keep the mama from doing everything she can to protect those cubs naturally. Amy, that was unreal. And I just feel like something is going on to make us so lucky to see these things. This whole trip has been like one thing checked off the list after another, and the rarest of rare white lion cub. This is the highlight, the pinnacle of this trip to Ngala. We just saw it on our evening drive before we leave. So let's go have a celebratory drink. And of course, we just pulled over for our sunset cocktail, and a ton of giraffe just started walking right behind us. So we're gonna see if we can get closer to get a photo with them.
I'm gonna walk in front of everyone for this little giraffe walk. You stay behind me and the rifle at all times, just in case there's anything ahead of us, then I'm ahead of us for that.
It's so crazy, even though we banged out all of the big five when we were in Phinda, and that was our family's first experience with safari in Africa. I mean, honestly, I kind of came here thinking, I'm not sure what else we're gonna be able to do that's exciting, but that was really nuts. I mean, at no other point during this entire safari experience in both places did you really get a sense of how close we are to the actual wildlife and to the inherent danger in it, really, when we're just sitting out there in the middle of that sandy, dry river, and you see these cubs right there and realize we're closer to those cubs than their mama is. And a whole lot could go wrong if it wasn't as safe as it actually is.
Almost did go wrong.
Oh, and then the hyena piece, I mean, that's really cool. That's probably more than anything else on this trip what I think really separates a zoo experience from the real safari experience out here. There are no fences separating us from any of these creatures right now even. That was really exciting.
100%. This experience here in Africa, a safari, really I feel like you can choose any of them as long as you're in the wild. It's gonna change your life. It's gonna change your perspective on wildlife and nature. It's blown away our expectations. It's everything we could have dreamed of and beyond. Is that it? Mm-hmm. And beyond.
Well done.
Thank you.
To Amy and Mishak.
To Amy and Mishak.
Finding us
Cheers.
some white lion cubs.
Yes. Thank you.
And honestly, they're just as white as I thought they'd be. And I did get a little worried when that hyena came in, but I was also kind of excited, except a little worried because I didn't want anyone to get hurt, but excited because I knew there was going to be some action.
And I got a little worried when the hyena come over
But I also, like, when we went on the African safari, I, like, knew I wanted to see a hun. So at the same time, I was kind of, like, excited, but at the same time worried, so.
We are losing the sun, so we're gonna go back and grab some dinner and call it a night, and we have another drive in the morning.
Sorry?
This is our final goodbye to our lodge, to Ngala Lodge. Our last morning here from our safari adventures. We had 4 amazing days of full safaris. Morning drives, evening drives, the all-inclusive meals, dinners in the bush, drinks in the bush. It's been an absolute dream come true. Okay, Phil's correcting me. He says it's 5 days, 4 nights. Either way, our hearts are so full. We packed in so much, but I think the most important thing is that we had an open mind. We didn't feel like our enjoyment depended on seeing the big 5 in Phinda or seeing the white lion cub here in Ngala. And I do kind of feel like that positive energy attracted the positive experience.
Hey, Amy.
Hello, I hear the plane's a bit early, but that's a good thing.
Oh my gosh, it's so sad. This is the worst, is leaving. I said last night we had one more drive in the morning and it's to the airstrip. So one last chance for adventure. We're gonna see if we can spot anything on the way. This is our goodbye drive. I am really gonna miss this place. I really don't want this to end.
No, don't. Yeah, and you've got the cheeky geekies waiting for you. A shame, Erin. It's such a pleasure. We're so glad you enjoyed it. And you must keep well for the trip. You're going to be excited. We're going to wave you off from the airstrip, so look out for us as you go down.
We will.
Do. Thank you.
We've got this charter all to ourselves. I don't bounce on the wall.
You're bouncing off the walls.
Oh, that's rich coming from you. I don't bounce off the walls. Give him half a drip of Coke and he's bouncing off the walls.
Half a drip?
Yeah.
What? Oh, he's so
Open it up, buddy.
thick.
Oh. You snooze, you lose, bro.
I didn't snooze.
It's time for a maca chacarula, or for Phil and Amy, just a macarula.
No, it'd be chocolate.
Amy's not going to be
A chocolate, right. The maca's
not
the
having
coffee.
a rule on the drive.
No,
Don't worry.
Yeah, don't get her in trouble with your
Wait a
lies.
minute.
Sorry, I'm starting rumors. Amy doesn't drink on the job. She's just gonna have a hot chocolate like the kids. Mmm. Yummy. Cheers, my love.
To Amy and Mishak.
To Amy and Mishak. Woohoo!
We buried it.
So I just did a tree-wee. That is what we call going potty in the woods. And I think it might only be for girls, a tree-wee. I guess boys do tree-wee too.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call this one a tree. You're in the middle of the sand.
Yeah.